Okay, so now I'm on to the final game of the Streets of Rage series, and, to my opinion, the weakest of the trilogy. I'm going to admit that I'm probably going to offend some people because I'm going to flat out say my opinion on Streets of Rage 3. This game sucks! To me, it's boring, plain, and feels exactly like the previous two games, with very few exceptions. First, the story is similar to the other games. You learn from a supposed new friend by the name of Dr. Zan that the Syndicate is back, and they plan on replacing all city officials with robot clones. Already, this sounds like a bad idea, but it gets worse when it says that Adam still can't come back, but his brother Skate does. Max is ditched as well and is substituted for Dr. Zan. Then suddenly a game says there's bombs going off all over the city, and the first level shows a cutscene of a bomb getting defused. What confuses me is, why the hell are they allowing a kid near a freaking bomb? What kind of vigilante force are these guys if they're allowing kids on the bomb defusal unit? I don't give a shit if he's wearing roller skates. He's not gonna outrun a fucking bomb. Yeah, I went there, but I have a lot of other complaints about this game. First, the story is pretty much throwaway, just like I've already mentioned. Grant, when you're playing a beat-em-up, all you want to do is beat the crap out of your opponents and continue on. Storylines typically take a backseat to the action. But in this game, you're just constantly being bombarded with robot conspiracies and the feeling that the writers didn't know where they were going with the story. To make things worse, in order to get the best ending of the game, you have to play on at least a normal difficulty. Otherwise, you get a shitty ending after about 5 stages, requiring you to play through the same crappy game another time if you really want to know what happens with the robots and city officials. And that's even if you can get to the end. The game gets so cheap, I wonder if it's even possible. Just look at this part here. You have to fight multiple guys on jetpacks. In the first 2 games, you have to fight one on a jetpack. That isn't abnormal. But when 3 guys are assaulting you and attacking you before you can even get a hit in, I start calling bullshit. As usual, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'll slow down a bit. Let's talk about the fighters. Axel, Blaze, and Skate all return from Streets of Rage 2. All 3 seem to appear in the same forms as the previous game. In addition to these, you get Dr. Zan, who is some old guy that can glide around. Like a robot. He's got a long reach, but seems to lack the power needed to really take down your enemies. In addition, there's 2 secret players. First is Rue. He's a freaking kangaroo. In order to unlock him, you just need to defeat his trainer before defeating him. If you can kill the trainer, Rue would just bounce off the screen and then becomes playable. You can also unlock Shiva, one of Mr. X's main sidekicks. Why he defects, we'll never know, but you have to fight him first. In fact, he's the first stage boss. In order to unlock him, you defeat him as normal, but hold down a button until the next stage starts. Shiva is extremely quick, but has no throws. He's also some guy who can lift his leg up farther than any man should be able to do. For both of these hidden characters, you can only play as them when you continue upon losing all your lives. For the gameplay itself, it's your standard beat-em-up formula. Move from one side of the screen to the other, defeating every enemy that shows his or her face. Or its face. Either or. Rinse, repeat. Although you can use standard attacks, grapples, and throws, most of the characters possess extremely powerful running attacks, which are really the preferred way to get anything done in this game. In addition to these, you also get a regenerating special meter. When this is full, you can perform your special attack without penalty to your life. However, you can still perform these specials without a full meter, but then you do get the health penalty. You also get the occasional weapons, of which everyone handles differently. For example, Dr. Zan will turn every weapon he picks up into a projectile, which is annoying because you need to tap forward twice then attack to use it, and the damage is pretty minimal. Shiva, on the other hand, will attempt to pick up weapons, but since he can't use them, they'll just fall harmlessly to the ground. My question is, why the fuck should Shiva bend down to pick up a weapon if he's not going to bother using the damn thing? This leads to a lot of frustrating but unnecessary damage when you're in the middle of a fight and attempting to attack, but instead of leaning down to pick up a dagger because both the pickup weapon and attack are mapped to the same button. Weapons also have limited uses again, so after a certain amount of time, these weapons will just break. Some weapons, like the pipe, that makes sense. But what about the sword? Must be really shitty, cheap material. Thankfully, the graphics look pretty good. There's some nice detail to all of the characters and environments, although it's still missing that gritty feel from the original game. Hell, even Blaze looks a bit sluttier than before, complete with a bouncing chest. Fan service, anyone? Even so, Sega really improved in the graphics department, but I do have one massive complaint. The club stage. Before I talk about that, let me tell you about the background music. It's just god-awful. It's a repetitive, slushy mess. It's like they tried for a techno crowd, but since each song seems to loop after about 5 to 10 seconds of playtime, it just doesn't work and gets more annoying than anything. So let's move back onto that damned club stage. But before that, let's hit the area before it. See anything familiar here? That's right. It's the same fucking main street you've been fighting on in the first and second game! Can't Sega come up with anything a bit more unique than the same frickin' street level every frickin' game? I don't understand it. Anyway, you enter the club and your eyes and ears get assaulted by this mess. By the way, if you get epilepsy and haven't had a seizure yet, you might just want to stop watching now, just in case. You won't miss much, I promise. The graphics try giving off some sort of strobe light effects and disco ball visuals, but this is a damn game that you're fighting in. It's horrible. It's not very long, but it seems to take forever. There's also a massive crowd in the background that's supposedly jamming, but I take it they're all either too stoned to realize there's a gang fighting a lone chick on a balcony, or that's just really good music according to them. I don't know. You also get to fight those fucking twins from the first game, and although they're not nearly as difficult since you get your special attacks and running power hits, they're still pretty fucking annoying. Perhaps the game's biggest fault is the recycling feeling again. The game really doesn't do much to stand out. Granted, there's more unique areas in this game this time around, but you still get a massive feeling of deja vu, especially with the enemy selection. If that's not the worst problem, then maybe it's the relentless difficulty, especially near the end of the game. I already mentioned the fuckers with the jetpacks, but what about the final stage where you have a ton of gunmen shooting you away from your other attacks? Oh, I see. The bullets travel through your foes but manage to strike you on the same line of sight. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense! Want to attack someone? Good fucking luck, because they'll just shoot you or another enemy will just whip you or something. Plus, there's times in the game where you'll see wave after wave after wave after wave of enemies, with no end in sight! This must be the biggest gang in the world, because these bastards all look the same and just keep coming in the same area. And after the defeats in the first two games, you'd think there'd be some uncertainty of the strength of the gang, but no, of course not. These fuckers just keep coming. And what also pisses me off is this damn Bulldozer. I tried jump kicking this guy multiple times, but to no avail. So I just lose a shit ton of lives because I say fuck it, and just keep attacking the concrete barriers to proceed further. It's not until I looked up an FAQ where I learned you can just punch the Bulldozer. What? You punch a fucking Bulldozer and it'll back away? So let me get this straight. You punch a huge piece of machinery that weighs several fucking tons, but regular enemies take 30 punches before dying. Why are your enemies not having collapsed rib cages after one fucking punch? When in the hell did this make any fucking sense? Alright, I'm done with this piece of crap. In a nutshell, Streets of Rage 3 is garbage. Sure, it's got nice looking visuals and it's playable, and the special meter is actually pretty cool, but why use your regular attacks when you can just spam the running attack and special meter? Besides, the music is enough to make you want to hurl, or at least mute the freaking TV. How I managed to play this game long enough to get enough footage for this review, I'll never know, but I'm sure the club stage killed a ton of brain cells in the process. I don't even have many up there as it is anymore, but now my brain cells are becoming a freaking endangered species. And in any case, I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there seething at the mouth, cursing me, saying, how dare he curse this game, it's the best in the series. Well, you're watching this review because you want my opinion on it, and I'm giving it a straight, honest review. I do not like this game. I don't even dislike this game. I despise this game. But at least it's playable. Of sorts. There's a ton of worse beat 'em ups, so I guess I can't damn this game too much. Or can I? Final score? 4 out of 10. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.